Hey, everybody, welcome to Mastering Local Marketing. And here is the mug right here. It makes a lot of noise when you put it down on the table, but I'll tell you what, it makes a beautiful mug. We will have them for sale shortly. This is episode 72. We're recording it live on two radio stations, AM 1230 and 104.7 FM in the South Chicago, Hammond, and Northwest Indiana area. And it's being recorded on September 4th of 2025. And you want to call in, it's 9:46. You could call in if you got a question about what we're going to talk about. We're going to kind of extend the last issue or the last episode. That was marketing ads, video ads that convert. And we're going to take one part of that. We're going to talk in depth about it. And that is the hook of the video ad. Are you a small business owner who creates social media video posts and ads, but your targeted audience seems to continue scrolling past no matter how professional you make them? It's frustrating when your marketing isn't driving clicks, customers, or more importantly, sales, especially when you're already wearing 10 other hats just to keep the business running. The problem? Without a strong hook, your videos get lost in the scroll. In this episode, we'll break down 7 powerful marketing hooks that capture attention instantly and keep viewers watching. And we'll stop right there and introduce Matt Hansen, digital marketing guru. How are you doing?
I'm good. This one's going to be exciting for me because I love hearing different hooks when it comes to the videos, and I love to see how they just agitate the pain points that people are going through.
Explain agitate the pain point once again.
Right. So I was actually having a conversation yesterday about pain points and all this other stuff, and everyone's like, I don't understand what a pain point is. A pain point is something that you are struggling with, right? So it's, as an entrepreneur, you're thinking about you're providing a solution to somebody's problem, right? Problem, whether it's a product or a service that you're providing. So think of it in terms of, you've talked to me about the fence that we've been looking to get. My problem is trying to get enough people to actually call me back. The fact that, options, colors, surveys, all this other stuff, like those are all my pain points right now. And, I went through this whole thing, and some people call you back, some people don't, right? And I just want a simple process. I want to make a phone call, and I want somebody to come out, and I want somebody to put a fence in. That's exactly where I want it to be. But the pain points are you struggling to get somebody to call you back? Do you even understand what you have to do to pull a permit? All of these different things that the typical homeowner may or may not even understand, but those are hooks. Those are things to get people to come in, right? So example, if I'm marketing to a local area, and I could say on, let's say Hammond, Indiana, right? Because we're sitting in Hammond right now. Are you struggling to find customers for your business in Hammond? Are you exhausting the amount of money that you have in marketing and things just aren't working? That's 3 seconds, 4 seconds, right? People stop, they listen. Yeah, that's me, right? We talked in the last episode about your slice, right? Mine would be more like, do you avoid going to golf events because you have such a horrible slice? Do you want to get rid of that? Do you want to go entertain with all the other people that you work with at these events and feel comfortable in that environment? Let's teach you how to do that, right? Like those are good hooks that will get people to stop and listen.
Ask a bold question. That's the very first one. Do you know why your website is losing customers? Let's use a real world example. We just had a guy, Dr. Rahman, out of Whiting, his Right Care Pharmacy. Mm-hmm. And he just happened to call in while I answered, so I'm taking care of him. And he has vaccines that he'll come to your house and he'll give the vaccine. It's mostly older folks or people that can't get out of the house, that kind of thing. But they do it, and they have some sort of program, and he wants to promo that. Mm-hmm. Give me an example of a bold question you would ask to get somebody's attention that might be in need
for
of
the
this.
vaccine.
For the vaccine.
Are you tired of running around trying to get everything done every single day of your life? Still haven't gotten the vaccine that you've been trying to get? Doctor, an insert name, can come to your house, can literally take the weight, take the time, and do it right in home with no extra charge, no extra cost.
All right. I think we just wrote the spot that I got to work on right now. I got to get it finished before I can go golfing, and then that's there it is. But it is a bold question,
Right.
and you like the one, and I think you're right. Are you a small business in Northwest Indiana? That's where we are here in Northwest Indiana on the campus of Purdue Northwest, and that's I like that. Are you a small business? Have you we got another guy just signed up for, or might, whatever. I think he's in the process of coming on, sells hot tubs, right?
Yep.
You could think of all sorts of great,
yeah.
bold questions.
Right.
You got one off the top of your head?
I'm not giving you the next one. I'm going to have to charge you for that.
You know how much those cost? You know how much that costs right there? All right. What about a shocking statement? Do you know? All right, I'll come up. Do you know that you have a 42% less chance of getting a heart attack if you regularly get in a hot tub and relax?
Yeah. I mean, if it's true, yeah.
It's not true.
I know. Yeah.
But wouldn't that be cool if it was?
Well, I mean, let's look at it from our audience here, right? So they're looking for small business marketing ideas. And, did you know that 95% of the ads that are out there are actually not producing results? Do you want to know how you can actually be the 5%? Let's talk, right? Like those are the things, those are the questions.
So you're basically saying it to me that I could use that.
Right. So, make a shocking statement that in the next 6 months, you're going to launch advertising and 95% of it is going to fail. Let that sink in, right?
It's kind of like the same percentage of startup businesses that don't make it, yeah.
And again, I can say those types of statements because people don't put time and effort into these things, right? They'll launch something. I was listening to somebody yesterday about how they said, "Oh, Google ads don't work," and I'm like, "What are you talking about? The Google ads don't work, like the paid search keywords and all that." So what do you mean they don't work? I'm like, oh, well, we did it. We put it out there. And then you start asking them all the questions. Okay, well, what did you do? Well, we bought a few keywords. Well, what were the keywords? Okay, great. What did the ad look like? What was the landing page? What was the funnel looking like? Was there tracking on it? And of course, all the answers are no, or I don't know. I don't know what the numbers were. They just winged it, right? And that's why a lot of this stuff fails, but you can utilize shocking statements that are true to say, this is what's happening. And you're going to notice me because I'm speaking to you directly if I've got my targeting on right.
We use a lot of acronyms here that some of them I can remember and some I don't from taking Matt Hansen's digital marketing classes, which I did on my MBA quite a while ago now. But one of these I understand completely outside of marketing, and that is FOMO. Mm-hmm. And I don't know why I see this a lot amongst the people that I hang out with. It's like, hey, man, we need to go here. We need to go there. I go, what do you mean? I don't need to go anywhere. But there's always this fear of missing out, which is FOMO. You can roll that into an ad.
Yeah. FOMO, urgency, right? Like they're all kind of the same. People hate missing opportunities. And, we can roll that up into a variety of different ways, but maybe it's a limited amount of seats to something that you're doing, right? So I'm currently planning something at the university with small businesses where it'll be a select number of seats and local businesses will be able to come in, and we're just going to have some just general discussions about their marketing and talk about, how they can improve it. But it's very limited. So if I were to run an ad for that and I was putting that out to local businesses, I would say, again, shocking statements, 95% of the ads that you're running out there are going to fail. But, however, we can actually go through that with you and make sure that you're the 5% that actually succeed. You want to come in, right? We have 20 slots. You can come in and sit with us for an hour, hour and a half, and we will go through what you're currently doing in marketing and point out the things to improve and make you succeed as you go forward. However, remember, there's only 20 slots. Get them today, right? Like, if I miss out on those 20, my competitors might be in there. I don't want them to be in there. I want to be the one in there. So it's all this urgency, this fear of missing out of the content that's in there.
He is coaching me as he's doing a podcast. just so you know. Um, we've already talked about calling out your audience
Right.
directly. Hey, are you a Northwest Indiana small business owner? You can do that basically with everything. Are you someone who is worried about your heating and air conditioning and you want to get it checked out for a reasonable price, blah, blah, blah? That's it. Attention, Northwest Indiana builders,
You
blah,
can
blah,
even
blah.
go deeper though. You talk about your HVAC guy all the time, right? It could be, are you worried about your HVAC? All these types of things. But you could also say, is your HVAC system 20 years old? Are you worried that your family might get the
Freeze.
chill this winter? That it might go out just in the worst time?
We're at the bottom of Lake Michigan, which dumps all of its cold and snow right here where we live.
Yeah.
So this is a big issue. Your heater goes out during a snowstorm, which happen all the time.
Right.
That's a problem.
But yeah, as somebody that takes care of the house, I want to make sure that you don't need the heater right now. The heater only goes out, the furnace only goes out when it's cold outside because that's the only time that it's running. Same thing with air conditioner. It only goes out when you're running it when it's hot outside. So it's that don't be that guy or girl waiting weeks to get somebody out while your house is freezing, busted pipes. Like you could play off of all the different pain points of that. Too busy to take care of these types of things. I mean, there's a variety of ways you can go that direction.
Now, we talk a lot about the hook in terms of need, hitting the pain point, but sometimes it's kind of a more generic thing. It's like, that's kind of weird. I'm going to watch this ad just because they're curious. How do you create curiosity?
You see this a ton on Instagram and TikTok where they'll throw something out there and they'll say, "I've got the secret to XYZ." And in 20 seconds I'm going to tell you the answer. But first, let me tell you how I got to this. So we go into the storytelling again, and here's how I became the expert of this, and here's how I know how to use this. But what I'm about to tell you is going to, so it's that curiosity that keeps pulling you along, and you're waiting and waiting and waiting. And some people do this extremely well, right? Like they hook you all the way through, and then you get to the end, you're like, okay, that was great,
The workout guys,
right?
they always get you.
Yeah.
And they're all buffed and they're like, hey, you know how I got here, right? But first I want to tell you something.
Yep.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but that it pulls people along. Some people take it too long, though. Sometimes you'll get like a 3-minute video and it's just like, all right, enough, right? So you've got to understand the timing of it. But the curiosity, you're making a promise that at the end of this video, you're going to know these things. And we do the exact same thing with this podcast. If you read our descriptions, it says, in this episode, we will teach you XYZ. And it's the ability for you to understand, like, we're pulling you through. Now, they're a little bit vague in what we tell you you're going to learn, but we'll tell you, hey, you're going to learn X, Y, Z, and then you'll listen all the way through and you'll figure out exactly where we were going, and we'll give you those insights as we get there.
We talk a lot about pain points in the last episode. That would have been 71. This is 72. And the pain point doesn't fit everybody. You may live in an apartment where somebody fixes your HVAC and you don't care and you click, oh my God, or you swipe, you're done, right? But the larger you can make your pain point relatable to people is a way to get more people to watch your ad on my sports network or on Facebook or on any other social media platform. But how do you make that pain point relatable to more people?
Well, I think you need to understand your audience first. And I have a great example of this. Yesterday, I have a class where we were discussing pain points, and I gave them clients. And the clients that I gave them were New York museums. And I could hear them, they're working in groups, and I can hear them chattering, and they're like, what is a pain point? How does this, what is he relating to? And I kept asking them, do you have questions? And of course, students are always like, no, we're good, right? So I had to go around the room and kind of understand where they were at. And they're like, what do you mean?
Is that when you went back in the office and looked at fence people?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
But So I walked around with them and I started asking, I go, what would be a pain point for somebody that is going to a museum? And they're like, I don't understand that. And I said, well, let's think about this. I said, we have people that are donors, we have sponsors, we have people that love events, we have people with children that are looking for something to do on spring break, summer break, winter break, whatever it may be. You have family members that are coming or friends that may want to go see the museums. You have people that are traveling. So each one of these target audiences has different pain points. So the traveler is coming in and they're looking at the Smithsonian or something like that. We were looking at New York, but like the Banksy Museum, which is an artist. That is a very unique individual. So one, I want to know where it's at. Two, how do I buy tickets? Three, is it open every single day? Four, what does it entail, right? Like there's all these different things. What am I going to get for buying my ticket? And how easy is it for me to go see this? Do I have to catch, two trains and a cab or like what is it that I have to do to find this place, right? So there's all of these pain points. But then you have a parent that's sitting at home with their child over the summer and there's nothing to do. Well, let's go to the museum. Okay, well, what is it about the museum that they enjoy? When I was a kid, I loved the science kind of stuff. I didn't like the mummies and all of that. I was less about like the natural history museum and more about science and tech and things like that. So, you know, when it comes to that, it's all right. If we go there, how easy is it to get in there? If we go there, what do they have? Is this going to be a 3 hour trip or is it going to be a 30-minute trip? Is my child going to be entertained? What are the amenities that they have there? Like all of these things that you have to think about when you're going to this. So it's all these pain points that you're going to have, or these pain points that you have by sitting at home where your kids are on their phone or their iPad instead of going and seeing something that, is a little bit more educational. So it doesn't matter what your business is. Your customers all have pain points. Your customers for the sports network are trying to figure out how to advertise and put their message alongside sports to create that halo effect that we talked about previously, right? My customers from a university standpoint are trying to educate themselves, but in the long run are trying to build careers. And our students are a little bit different because they're first generation, right? They need a little bit more hand holding. They don't necessarily understand the opportunities that are out there because they've never been presented with that. So that is different than an R1 huge institution where maybe their parents and their grandparents have all gone to school and they're, really highly successful and all this other stuff. So you have to understand how pain points play in and, as you go into there, as you get that hook, that pain point and who you're targeting should be relative, right? So it should match. And that's what we're trying to say. When we get back to hooks and we're putting that pain point out, it should stop them in their tracks and go, I am exactly the person they're talking to when they say that.
Getting back to FOMO, finally, sometimes people just fear of missing out on getting your product.
Yeah.
And you gave us the example of, how I could create a scarcity or an urgency about buying advertising on live local sports. But any business can do that.
There was a horrible one yesterday, and I don't mean to call them out on this, but football starts tonight, so the NFL starts tonight, and Yahoo Sports. We host a league, fantasy football league through there, and they had sent out this email yesterday, this notification. It was some kind of collectible that they were giving. You could buy it. I think it was like $25, but they only had 1,000 of them, and they're like, "Get in before it's gone." And I'm looking at this and I'm going, this doesn't speak to me, number one. It doesn't solve a pain point for me at all. I would get the urgency and the fear of missing out, but what do I care if I don't have any ties to this? Like there's no relevancy whatsoever to this. So I quickly just deleted it, right? And maybe it's something I should have paid attention to, but the way they presented it didn't hook me enough for me to even figure out what it was. It was an automatic next, right? And this is Yahoo who's doing it. And I get it that, there's all of these different businesses and Yahoo's kind of like the third string search engine, but still, like, I got it, and I still don't understand what they were doing. And I'm sitting here talking about them today, but I just deleted it. I didn't get it. And that if that's what's happening to your customers, you're missing an opportunity.
He's Matt Hansen, digital marketing guru. I'm Jim Deedlow, Jed TV Sports Network. Until next time, we'll see you later.